Hey Rob, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine is relatively straight and on a tilt, probably on a little bit too much of a tilt. Legs are coming down, maybe a little bit too bent. Your arms then hang down nice and naturally off that tilted spine, and the club works out to the ball. So if I were going to work on your golf game, I'd get you into a little bit of a taller position here. Just stand up a little taller with your spine. Keep it straight, keep it on an angle, but just don't tilt it over as much. Keep your legs unlocked, but not to the point where they're bending, and then from there your arms can sort of hang out a little bit more naturally, and then the golf club can work out to the ball. What that's going to do, it's going to place your hands a little higher and the club shaft just a little steeper, and also the golf club a little closer to you. I think when we see your golf swing, I think we're going to see a lot of elevation change up and down, especially through impact, and we'll take a look at that in a few minutes here. Let's also go ahead and just take a look at your alignment. We can see that your feet are aiming in this direction here. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel. Your feet, parallel lines on camera, have an appearance of converging. And even with that scenario, we can see that you're definitely set up sort of right in the corner of this body of water. So we might see some form of compensation whereby you're trying to get the ball a little bit more back to the left. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. Before we go ahead and take a look at the swing, let's just notice that Jordan is taller than you. So his legs are just unlocked, spine is straight, but obviously a little bit more vertical than yours, and that's sort of what I was getting at. As we initiate our takeaway, simply want to turn our shoulders, draw our arms and hands back as well as the golf club. We want the club coming back along the red line on plane. And then through the early stages of the golf swing here, we got to start to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from below now to above our hands, and then we're going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm and the club situated on the yellow line within the blue-yellow V zone, or physically on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth here. We also want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a very stable right leg, and we also want to maintain our posture that we achieved right from the beginning. Before we go ahead and take a look at your golf swing, I am going to go ahead and just put a little box around your head. More so want to look at your forehead and your chin and just see what exactly happens to that head based on the elevation change with your spine due to the fact that it really didn't start tall enough. So here we go. Let's draw that golf club back. We sort of stand up out of the shot already by about 2 inches. Right here we're bringing the hands back. It looks good. Turning the shoulders. Golf club's coming back on a pretty decent plane. So out of the gate here looks really, really nice. Again, look at how high your chin has already come up, and that's just the first few feet of starting your backswing. As we continue to move back here, we want to see continued turn. Want to start to see some wrist hinge. Fantastic. And let's work this golf club right to the top, and let's see where you get set. When you finally get set at the top of the backswing, really good shoulder rotation, stable right side. You've dropped back down to where you started with respect to your posture and your head. Your arms are in good triangular position relative to your core, but they are a little congested to your body, so you set your arms a little shallow. We can see your hands don't get very high. But the golf club's in good position relative to your arms, and you're still in a reasonably decent position here where you can still create a lot of power back into the golf swing. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core and fire the hands. And then we got to bring our golf club from wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone. We have to get the golf club to return back to red, and that's exactly what we see here. We see the golf club returning back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means the club head is remaining above and behind our hands, coming into the ball, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power. aside from the fact that he's also going to be able to hit the ball straight due to the fact that, again, the club has returned back to plane, as I've already noted, which is a main criteria in order to produce straight golf shots. With your transition back into the ball, let's see what you do. Nice dropping of your hands and arms, looks great. Looks like you're creating some lateral motion there, moving your feet, knees, and hips. That's awesome. Hands moving a little bit out there. Let's go to the next frame. Let's go one more. Yeah, okay. So at this point in time, we can take a look at your lead forearm and your club and basically say, hey, you know what? We've got our backwards check mark. Creating some power in your golf swing is not going to be an issue. One of the things we do see, though, is the club hasn't fully returned back to plane, and the shaft of the golf club is a little bit on the steep side. Just means if we take a look at your golf club right now, it's on an angle here of about 44 degrees, whereas the shaft angle for Jordan Spieth is at 31. So the shaft angle is coming in the ball a little steep at this particular point in time. What we want to do now is just really pay attention to the club head and where it goes. Let's see where it goes in the next frame here. Okay, so it drops down to here. Basically, if we connect the dots, if we had a little bit of a higher speed camera like they do on TV, we can see that your golf club probably didn't really return back to plane until there, versus we can see with Jordan Spieth that the golf club is returned back to plane here, and then as it tracks into the golf ball, simply comes into the golf shot directly from this red line, so directly from on plane. And as I already stipulated, this is what needs to happen if we want to hit a straight golf ball in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So we can see that your descending plane is pretty good. You're not that far over the top at all. One of the things I do want you to notice, though, I'm just going to back you up here a couple frames. Sorry, I'm going forward. Let's go backwards. So right here, notice your head's still in the same position as where it started. Okay. Now, as you keep coming into the ball, watch what happens to your head in the next couple frames. Pulls up and away. Pulls up and away, pulls up and away. So now you're getting into that taller position. So again, if you didn't start in a position with your spine so angled, start a little taller, you physically wouldn't have to move to this position. You would have already established it right from the get-go. Okay, so that's why I want to fix up your posture to begin with. As we're coming into the ball here, looks like you expand out to the ball, a pretty nice path, club face squares up. Get yourself into a pretty decent impact position there, and as long as the club face squares up, doesn't do anything crazy, doesn't over-release or stay open, the ball should be able to find its intended target. Now, we definitely see the club face maybe shutting down a little bit more aggressively due to the fact that, again, when we took a look at your alignment, you were set up to hit the ball over in the corner of the water, and I said we might see some form of a compensation where we try and get that ball to end up going a little bit more left than where we're aimed. And with that face shutting down, that's going to help that golf ball head towards that yellow flag exactly how we see it there. So a lot of that, though, does come down to the timing. Over-release it, going to go too far left. Under-release it, going to go too far right. If we time it okay, then you will find your intended target. As you drive through, you drive yourself through a really nice finish. Looks really, really good. I mean, overall, you got some really nice athletic qualities with respect to your golf swing. Your hands work great. They come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You got good footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. We're just aiming ever so slightly out to the right. And then when we come into the ball, obviously we're just trying to make sure that we square that club face up and maybe try and get that club face closing a little bit extra by a few degrees so we can sort of hit what I call a sort of a little bit of a smother, slight draw to get that ball back to the center of the fairway. But overall, really nice looking golf swing. Looks great. Anyway, at any point in time you want to revise any of these little aspects in your golf swing, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments and you're looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyway, I hope you had a great day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.